Zimbabwe are the new Rugby Africa Under 20 Barthes Cup Champions following a 1914 win over Namibia at the Nyayo Stadium. The win assures that Zimbabwe Under 20 Rugby a place in next year's elite World Rugby Junior World Cup trophy. The Young Sables will now compete with some of the world's best, including six-time winners New Zealand, England, France and neighbours South Africa. To talk us through this recent success and preparations for next year's event, Zimbabwe Rugby Union Chief Executive Sifiso. Sif, very good evening. Thanks so much for staying up with us. And now it's just a quarter before midnight, so certainly appreciate your time. How big an achievement is this for the under-20 side and rugby in Zimbabwe?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to you. This is absolutely very huge for Zimbabwe and Zimbabwean rugby, and actually rugby in Africa as a whole. You must remember that for the longest time, probably 2016, was the last time as Zimbabwe you hosted an event and showed us what we can do as a nation. But now, since then, we're sort of like dropped down in the rankings. But this in particular, this win has assured us of greater success and hopefully another bite at the bigger picture, which is ensuring that Zimbabwe goes back to the World Cup and joins the likes of, for example, South Africa, England, France, you name it. So it is a huge win for us, and we will take it and we'll run with it for the next 4 years.
Well, so walk us through this journey that's taken the under-20s to this prestigious event.
Well, as you know, the under-20 is the gap for us in between our school rugby and, of course, open rugby, which is our senior men. In 2019, we had gone down the ranks to about sixth in Africa. And of course, we then obviously had a change of the technical team and ensured that we had or gave the mandate to Sean D'Souza for the next 4 years. During COVID, it was very difficult for us because our school rugby was not being played, club rugby is not being played at all. However, from the onset of sport being opened up in the country, we decided to go local. Often is the case that we want to invite all our international players, but we decided let's get our local boys, keep them fit, keep them strong, get competition within Zimbabwe, which is what we did, and we allowed them to compete at against the senior teams, and we actually had a league that was specifically meant or targeted at ensuring that these boys would prepare for this tournament that's just ended in Kenya.
Now, you did mention that Zimbabwe dropped in the rankings, and I think something that we all agree is that rugby in Zimbabwe has been on the downward spiral over the last few years, if you will. Is this the clearest indication of a resurgence now?
It most certainly is, and the stewardship and the leadership right at the top has ensured that we have to now adopt rugby as more of a business model as opposed to just recreation. So that in itself has helped where we've franchised out our teams and ensured that each franchise, per se, will actually have people behind it who are experts, who have loved the game and will support whichever facet of the game or whichever team, national team, that we ensure that we've got competitions for. So that has helped a great deal.
Now, so finally, Zimbabwe has produced some amazing talent, the likes of Beast, Mutawarira, Brian Mujati, Kennedy Tsimba, to name a few. Can we expect to see more young talent on the horizon?
I can most certainly say to you that you will see that talent. This was evident just as you saw. I won't mention any names in particular, but yes, I tell you, your next Mujati, your next Beast will come out of this crop of young players who have done us proud in Kenya and going forward.
Now, talk to us about the landscape. How is rugby looking in Zimbabwe going into the future?
Well, as you know, with everyone else, with COVID, at least now on the downward spiral, or so we think. Our schools are back up and running. Our clubs are back up and running. Our women's rugby is growing, obviously with the support of Rugby Africa and World Rugby. I can tell you that, winter time is our time for rugby, so you can expect a lot of activity coming out of Zimbabwe, and we are going to several competitions to include this weekend, which is Africa Men's Sevens, next weekend Africa Women's Sevens, and then, of course, in July we have the main Sables going to the Africa Cup, which will be held in France.
Sifiso, Chief Executive of Zimbabwe Rugby Union, thank you for your time and congratulations once again on that achievement.